economic hardship that is confronting Nigerians and the poor conditions of service facing workers in the country. The organized labor has also requested the federal government to approve extension of service years from 35 to 40 and retirement age of Nigerian workers from 60 to 65 years. These and many other requests of Nigerian workers will be the focus on Let's Discuss today. You're welcome to Let's Discuss program. I am Adibare Jumakide, and I have my co-presenter with me here, Oluchi.
Yes, good day to you. Welcome to Let's Discuss. And as Adibare Jumakide rightly put it, today we will be discussing the Nigerian workers, the challenges they are facing, their requests before the government, and what they can do to surmount these challenges. Yes, we have a guest in the house who will be doing this for us. He is the Osun State Chairman of Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, Mr. Demola Adesoji. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Mr.
Thank you for having you on the program.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yes, the Nigerian workers, they are calling for extension of service years and as well as the retirement age. Why do you think they are making such demand?
All right, thank you very much. Actually, the demand of the Nigerian workers is not actually out of place, but for the sake of this discussion, I would like us to look at it in two angles. In the olden days, you'll see a whole lot of people going to schools late. In fact, they do tell them that it is at the point that your hand can still touch your ear that you can be admitted into the primary school. And later, they're going to graduate at a later age. They will still have an opportunity of working. Then later, they will have to retire. Let's look at it that the people that designed this, there is a time for you to school, there is a time for you to work, and there should be a time for you to rest. If we look at it, in that olden days, a whole lot of people still get to the age of 100, 120, 130. But nowadays, we have people dying at the age of 60, 70. In fact, some people might even be lucky to get to 80. So if they are now asking for the extension, that's why I said we should look at it in two sides. That means while working, there will be a lot of people that will still be dying. When are they going to have that time to rest and enjoy the fruit of their labor? Nowadays, we see students getting into universities at the age of 14, some people at the age of 15. We can see a series of graduates at the age of 18, at the age of 19. Some people having to have a PhD at the age of 25. If you are now saying those people should work till 40 years, do you want them to be dying at work? There should be a time. In the private sector where I came from, there are people that have gotten to the rank of a manager at the age of 30. And even there are some graduate trainees, the best of the best in universities that all these private organizations are taking nowadays, that are getting to the labor market at the age of 18, 19. So if they extend it, that means these people, they will not have that opportunity to even rest. That means they will be dying at work. In the private sector, it is another scenario, because I have worked with some managers, with some execs that will say, if I can work for 20 years and I can be able to attain a certain amount, and my children, if they are already working, then why do I still need to work? Then I should go and retire and enjoy the money that I've worked for. If I work, and at the end of the day I save a whole lot of money, then the person dies, who is going to enjoy the money? So there should be a time for you to work, there should be a time for you to study, and there should be a time for you to rest. Don't do anything, just be enjoying your money. Okay. And your children too will be working. So that is one side. The second side is there are still some set of people that, while some people are graduating at the age of 19, while some people have started work at the age of like 19, 20, Some people, they got admission at the age of 25, at the age of 30. So that means if they finish at the age of 34, they are going to see work at the age of 35. What will be their gain if they just work for 20 years and at the end of the day, they said they should go home? That is going to be an opportunity for them to at least get other source of income to be able to save, and they should be able to at least train their children. So for those set of people, it's actually good. But the third side, the third aspect, the third angle, which is going to be for the government, which is basically why are these people asking for an extension? It is basically because they are receiving stipend, token, that it will be very difficult for them to even gather this money together. For example, the minimum wage, 33,000 or 30,000. If you are collecting that amount, you cannot even live with it, talk less of saving. So definitely, those set of people, they will be living on loans, and at the end of the day, they will want an extension for them to be able to survive and spend on their children, and for them to even be able to wait for their children to start work and start giving them back. So those are the three scenarios that we'll have to look at it. So it depends on the side that we are looking at it. But I know in the olden days, a whole lot of people do go to school late and they do graduate late, so they will need more time.
Okay, now you talked about people, not being well enumerated.
Yes.
Now, if that happens to be the case, shouldn't the union be fighting, actually tasking the government to provide an enabling environment so that their take-home pay will actually take them home, instead rather than looking for or asking for extension?
Yeah, I believe that should be the way to go. But while I was in the private sector, there was an issue that I managed. There is this NLC picketing of MTN Nigeria that I have to manage directly with some of my superiors. And I discovered these people came that they said they were fighting for contract staff. We all know banks and other companies, they do engage a whole lot of contract staff. But for the fact that they are using them and they are getting the token, these people, they prefer that than not having any other thing. And if you are going to fight for those people, and the amounts that they are giving these people is more than the amounts that government is giving their people. So if they can really look at the monetary side, how the people can be going home with something that will really take them home, and not something that will give them that, see, don't go and die, just come back. If they can try and work on that, that will be really, really much better. Because it is not going to be a good thing for someone to work, and at the end of the day, the person suddenly dies. And at the end of the day, all the money, like my father worked for 35 years, and at the end of the day, the pension that is collecting is something that I can even use to eat in a day. I'll now be looking at it, that's it. At the end of the day, you suffered. So even after retirement, he has to go back to school, to a private school, to be teaching, to be able to train me and my brothers. Because all the amounts that they were giving him couldn't even take him home. At the end of the day, when he retired, there was nothing to really fall back to. So if they can really work on enriching or increasing the salaries that they are giving the people, it will be much better. And people that are collecting such amounts will be able to look at other things to really work on. For example, you see doctors, most of the doctors in the hospitals, they now have their own private hospitals. As soon as they retire, they go to their private hospitals. Most doctors don't even wait till 35 years. When they feel that their own hospitals are readily, they can really stand on their own, they retire. And they will be able to even employ others. Teachers in the public sectors, if they really pay them well, they will be able to go outside there to even start their own private nursery and primary school, the real ones that have passion for teaching. But when you are giving them a stipend, that cannot really take them home, they will continue to depend on you. They won't be able to stand on their own. So if workers really want to fight, they should fight right.
Alright, there's this saying that says, what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. The approval has been given to the DON and the teachers or extensions of the service years. Should other workers holding the same certificate or whatever be left out of the scheme?
Let me add, even judiciary workers too.
And the judiciary as well?
Yes.
Sure. Let me get you right. That those ones too should ask for the extension.
Yes, have been extended already.
Well, what we're saying is that is it the extension of service years they are asking for now?
Yes.
Some other workers, counterparts in other sectors, public sectors, have gotten that approval from the federal government, the judiciary, the DON, and the teachers. Should other workers be left out? That's why the labor union are now demanding for that service years.
Well,
and should it be made mandatory as well or optional?
Well, I want to believe that whatever you are doing for Taye, you should always do for Kende. If you have 12 children in the house, if you know you are not going to be able to do for all the 12, then don't start it. You cannot just do for one and you leave others. Whether they are going to enjoy it or they are not going to enjoy it, at least do it for them. Like I said, in the private sector, there are some people, I have reports that do say is that he doesn't really need to be 50 before he retires, that he wants to go and enjoy his money. Because private sectors, they will really ensure they use you. And if you continue to really go ahead to be used by the private sector, you will just discover that one day you just slum and die. And someone that didn't really know how you are saving the money will be the one enjoying the money. So private sector is now looking at it in such a way that, as in private employee, the people working in private, they are now currently looking at it that, okay, let me just try and work for 15 years and go. Even if it is just only that I'm going to establish one hotel or one, just a small scale business that's just going to be giving me a little, so that I will know that something is coming. And that is even why they came up with the idea of the pension scheme, that you can really save voluntarily, and even you can add to your pension that your company is already paying, and you too can still voluntarily save. That at the end of the day, if you say, okay, I want to do an aggressive savings of 15 years, and after 15 years, see, I want to be paid so amount, just be giving me every month, then I will be enjoying myself. I will know I have my time, and I can do anything I like. So that is exactly the way that the people supposed to. But if you are doing it for Taye, definitely you should do it for others. I totally agree that they really need to do it. Let's look at it in this angle. The people that are currently traveling, that they are doing Japan, most of them, they have the plans that let me just go there, let me try and aggressively work and save maybe for 10 years and come back. If I can be able to achieve this so amount, build house, build this and do this, then I will come back and be enjoying my money. It is not all of them that are enjoying where they are. But they want to quickly work and grab the money. But unfortunately, when they send money to Nigeria, it is another thing that we Nigerians will now still feel. So I totally agree with you that if they do it for some, they should do it for others, so that everyone will be enjoying it. Right. Whether they use it or they don't use it is their own business.
Thank you very much. Now, unemployment is a huge issue in Nigeria.
Yes, sir. It's a big issue.
Universities and other higher institutions are churning out, graduates on yearly basis.
Yeah.
And most of them are just there, aiming the street, without anything. And those that are in the workforce are, planning to stay perpetually. Yeah. When will these younger ones, when will they be able to get in and be gainfully employed?
So in addition, if their request is approved, what will be the implication on the labor market?
Okay, one, let's look at it in this way.
Okay.
If a mechanic, an apprentice who really wants to learn a mechanic work, is going to learn in such a way that at the end of we call it, okay, please, I want to, this clutch is not what there will be no color. Okay. And if you refuse to get it, you will not get color. think that should be the angle that the students should be looking at, the way to learn. The value that we place on certificate is now more, and you see a whole lot of people going after the certificates without going to learn, and which is really affecting our people. We are saying there is this unemployment, but if you really understand what you really go to study in school, it will only take a little for you to get maybe a capital to start something. Although there are some jobs, there are some professions that you really need to go, that you cannot really start on your own. But those ones, there are series of consulting firms, all these recruiting firms that you can really go to, volunteer. They're going to pay you a token. There are series of intern opportunities that they can really go to and get at least a little experience. For example, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations try to create an avenue where the students in mass communication can really understand what they are going to face outside. Most of the students that specialize in public relations in Osun State, when we engage them, we discover that most of them don't really know anything about public relations. They only know that public relations is this, public relations is this. Okay, what exactly will you be doing? And basically, when we ask them that, see, can you develop a PR plan? Have you ever seen a PR brief before? They will say no. And the only thing that the institute, that Nigerian Institute of Public Relations is just trying to do is to assist them to bridge the gap between the tan and the gun. That, see, there are a series of companies that are having issues. Let's try and send a PR brief to you, form yourself into a group, try to brainstorm, develop a strategic PR plan, send it. We're going to bring industry experts and pitch it to them. So when you understand the pitching, when you understand how to develop a PR plan, when you finish, when you graduate, even without you waiting for a white collar job, you can look at organizations that are having issues and you send in your proposals, you send in your strategic plan. From there, series of organizations will be getting after, they will be coming closer to you. That was how I started my own career. I did mass communications and I specialized in public relations. Before going to PR firms, I started looking for series of organizations that were having issues there. And I will develop series of plans, some plans that I will even look at today. I will say, why did I do this? I can even do better. But I will send something. Some organizations will call me that, okay, you have done well. Some will say, this is bullshit. But I can send to as many as possible. Some will say, okay, come, let's train you. Okay, you can go and implement this. We give you a token. So the students of nowadays should look beyond the certificate. They should try to ensure that, see, after graduation, see, I'm going to stand on my own. It will be only me. My lecturers will not be there. My friends that I do say, okay, please, what is the answer of this? They will not be there again. So, and the second one is the area of entrepreneurship that you talked about. Most universities, for example, like Osun State University, they are now trying to introduce entrepreneurship center to the students. There is no how you are not going to have an inbuilt skill within you. All you just need to do is just to understand the talents that you have. There are lots of people that have a passion for football. Some people just designing, some people talking, some people repairing radio, putting wires together. You will definitely have something. And if you look at it, the way that our grandparents, the way they do their things, that we are now feeling that what they are doing is an old version. If we go back to it and package it well, we can see a whole lot of money from there. I know there are some people that do buy red oil whenever they have more of it in the market. They keep it and they bring it back. There are some people that do buy beans. There are some people that do plants. And at the end of the day, but where are those things? Why are our people not really going there? There will be some people that you will be exposed to something while you are very young. And if you look at your inbuilt talent, your real self, there will be an inbuilt skill that all you just need to do is to just nurture it and bring it out. Then you will have, there is no how you will not have something. So it is in this kind of country environment that is supposed to really, really bring out the best in us. If everything is set like the United States and all those kind of advanced countries, we all will be sleeping, and at the end of the day, there will be lots of people that will not even want to work. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. What are the challenges confronting Nigerian workers, and in what areas do they deserve better conditions of service?
There are lots of challenges, starting from environmental business. You will get to some offices, no light. You will get to some offices, no tool to work. You will see some people, I've gotten to some place of work that they don't even have chairs to sit. For you to really, really offer your best, you must have a good environment of business. If that environment of business is not there, definitely you will not, such person will not be able to even provide the best. The second one is, what is that thing that is going to encourage you to do more, which is the monetary part. You cannot be expecting someone that is being paid a token and has a wife and children at home, and you expect the person to really, really offer the best. Definitely the person will be thinking, have you ever thought of it? Why some private organizations, even banks, they will say they want a single and that is not above the age of 22, because they know the brain is already working. There is nothing like the wife is at home, what will these children eat at home, and the person will now get to work and say, A series of challenges. For example, some people might be, it happens in Lagos a whole lot, that someone will be working in VI and the person will be living in Songota. So before the person would have traveled a whole lot. Maybe the person will wake up at 3:30 to get to work, because the person will really need to join Moyue, and Moyue will not wait for you. That person would have, plus traffic, that person would have gone through a whole lot of stress before getting to the office, and at the end of the day, you are not giving the person a token. So it was the fact that they are planning to remove the subsidy of fuel. Definitely, there are lots of challenges.
Okay.
There are lots of challenges.
Thank you very much. Now let's look at the economic situation. You know, Nigerian economy is inflation ravaged at the moment. What are its effects on the lives of workers?
It's really, really going to affect workers. It has a real effect, but what I would just say is that the government should just think twice, because one way or the other, if you push people to the wall, definitely you are training them to find other means. And if you are training them to find other means, you are telling them to steal indirectly. If you go to office, you get to office, you are there, you are being given 40,000 naira, and what is going to take you to office is around 30,000 naira. And what you are going to eat in the office in that month is more than 30,000 naira. Definitely, you have to think twice. It's really, really going to affect a whole lot of people. But although the rich will always find their ways around, like people do say that there is no middle class again in Nigeria. You only have, it is either you are rich or you are poor. We now have over 70% of the people that are poor in the real sense. So if I am at work and I spend a whole lot to work, to come to the office, and at the end of the day someone came, they say I'm from this, so they said you should give me this, you should give me, I have an appointment to see Oga. Then the person will say, Oga is no longer around, or for you to book appointment tomorrow, you can come next week. Definitely the person too would have understand the language of the civil service. Say, okay, this is my, take this envelope. Okay, this envelope is big. I think, did I say Oga was not around the other time? I think he's now around. You can go and say, but others, please, Oga just left. You know, there are a series of ways, because if you are in a difficult situation, you will really be trained to really adapt to the difficult scenarios. So it is really going to affect a whole lot of people if the government is not really very careful.
Okay, let us examine the issue of oil subsidy, which you have just mentioned just a few minutes ago. The Nigerian Labour said, oh, their warnings on the removal of oil subsidy continue to fall on deaf ear, especially that be put in place so that it will bring relief to Nigerians. And they saw that the increase in pump price of fuel as a gang up of the elite against the middle class.
Well, I don't want to believe that.
Okay, you will examine it. And how best can this policy of oil subsidy removal be implemented so that Nigerians will live, will continue to live in comfort and not under the hardship of the economy?
Okay, thank you. One, there is no how whoever comes in will not remove the subsidy. It is only that if we are trying to push it till another day, but there is no how. It is going to be in the best interest of the Nigerian system.
Like some people say there's no subsidy.
I think that there is no subsidy.
Yes, there's some Nigerians.
Well, but if they remove it,
that
at the end of the day, some
going
people
to
will
certain
suffer.
posts.
Yes. So there is no how, because that amount is huge. And we are continue to go into series of debt on daily basis. So it is going to be better because there are series of, like you said, there are series of people, powerful people in the country that are benefiting from the subsidy. Well, that is my own opinion, I might be wrong. So if they remove it and they try to provide the refinery, definitely we are going to be in the middle. The rich will suffer for it while the poor will suffer. But at the end of the day, we will all benefit. If that clause is very important, if they can use the money that is being subsidized well. Because if you remove the subsidy, definitely that amount is going to be there. You are not meant to go and drop the money or to use the money for another thing. There should be a certain thing that you are going to use. But I understand the fact that there was a time that they said they're going to be paying some people, the low class, a certain amount, people that are not working a certain amount. Even if they say they are going to do this, if they are not using politics in it, like, okay, these are my members of my political party that followed me, definitely they're the ones that will benefit. And at the end of the day, we'll clap for them that the people in the poverty, the poor people in the country are enjoying it. And at the end of the day, the real poor people are not getting it. So that's one. The second one is in the area of the minimum wage. If they are going to do that, definitely there should be a total calculation between the two. Because you cannot be expecting me to be buying fuel at the rate of 1,000 naira and you will still be giving me 30,000 naira. I've even had a scenario where someone say, why don't just they try to remove some zeros in the money? We know 10 naira cannot buy anything. What is this still doing? 20 naira cannot buy anything. What are we still doing with 20 naira? Why don't we just start with 100 naira? And we just know that this is the least denomination that we have, 100 naira and above. And you just go ahead. Well, I am not an economist, but that is just my opinion. I might be wrong. But there should be a certain solution that they should try to have in their plan to manage the workers in such a way that the money that they are having is not going to be at a disadvantage to them.
All right, thank you very much. And when we were talking earlier, you made mention of the fact that university systems or higher institutions should, start grooming students who will come out without relying on white-collar jobs. Now, that takes me to the ease of doing business in Nigeria, because many entrepreneurs have actually complained that it is so difficult that the environment is very, very hostile to entrepreneurs. What's your take on that? And what should government really be doing?
Well, I know there are a series of policies of governments that at the end of the day, it only gets to some certain set of people, and at the end of it, will not get to the real people that needs it. The real essence, to the best of my knowledge, of setting up a microfinance bank is supposed to assist those people that has bankable ideas, bankable proposals. When they have these ideas, they should be able to approach a microfinance bank and they should be able to fund them. But nowadays, microfinance banks, they are even borrowing politicians money to go for, because they know that is the only business that you can get your money back in due time. Politics. So, but the real SMEs that really need this money, they are not going to give them, because they know it will take it will take some time before they get it. But if the government can work on that, create an enabling environment for the small-scale business to really thrive, and ensure that there is this governmental support that you are giving them. Like I made mention of the scenario of the government of Canada, that if you are trying to do this chicken business and eggs, that even if you encounter an issue, maybe there is a disease that the chickens are having, and then maybe the chickens died, the government will come to you and say, okay, please, how much would you have sell it? Are they didn't die? If you say it's so amount, they are going to give you, just to encourage you to continue. If you have that kind of system, you will be happy that, see, at least I didn't lose anything, I still gained. Definitely I should still go back. If we can use that example, that is to tell us that in business, it is not all the times that you will win. The people saying that it is quite difficult to really run a business in Nigeria, it is not only in Nigeria. Okay. It is everywhere. Nothing comes easy, most especially something that is very good. So one will really need to work very hard, and it is not when you start that you are going to start getting it right. There are lots of times that you are going to start and you are going to encounter a series of issues. Consistency is key in business. So anyone that really wants to face business, all these small issues that they are facing, registering their company and this, and those are the things that are supposed to be moving them to really work harder, to really make them strong. Like I'm very sure Aliko Dangote and a whole lot of Mike Adenuga, among others, they would have their own story to tell. I'm not sure that it is when they start that people start hearing them, and it is not when they start that they started making profits. There are a series of times that they are going to try, they are going to fall. They are going to try, they are going to fall. But because they didn't stop, that is why you are having them now. There are a series of trying and error that they are going to have, but non-stop consistency will really make them to be master of what they are doing.
All right. Okay. The labor union also found out excessive borrowing by the federal government in the country. They said they have warned federal government on many occasions, but they keep borrowing. It is a fact that borrowing is not against the law.
Yeah,
but
it's against the law.
It is not. But provided it is deployed for the benefit of Nigerians. But what are the implications of having excessive borrowing?
Well, basically, the implication is just that everybody will get debt.
If the huge debt profile of the nation is too
it is really, really much. Actually, one of the issues that I do have with people is basically getting it right in the book and getting it wrong at the point of practicalizing and implementation. In the book, if you read the proposal that has been sent to the Senate and for approval, you will discover a whole lot of packaging and you will feel, man, this is the best for Nigeria. But at the end of the day, you will discover it is only in the book. And that is why I said in Nigeria, we have to think beyond what is written in the book. It is a practical. That is why some private organization will say, okay, you have BSc, MSc, PhD, you have this, you have this, you have MBA, you have this, you have that, and you are still looking for maybe a job in the secondary school. Then what is the impact of that education in you when you have a whole lot of certification and you are not looking for that kind of job? A private organization is not looking at, okay, what can you do with your hand? If it is only you, what can you do with your head? And if you cannot get that right, definitely you are not meant for the business. Because if you say you have this certificate, you have that certificate, and they say, okay, for example, someone that I have HND, BSc, MSc, PhD in electrical, and then, okay, sorry, you have all that, please. Our wiring here is faulty. Can you please go ahead to quickly do? Actually, I don't have HND. I have degree, and by the virtue of the degree, we don't join the wire. We only speak grammar together. No, see, this is not. We don't stop here. We act. We have to really think beyond talking. Going straight to act and implementing is what is our major problem in the country. So they are saying they are borrowing. I don't really subscribe to borrowing. Although borrowing is not bad, if you are really borrowing for the right, this because at the end, if you want to borrow in the private sector, they will evaluate and say, okay, if you are borrowing for so years, what is going to be the return of investment? What are we going to use to be paying the money? But if you borrow 100,000 naira and you say you are using it for this business, definitely the business has to be bringing maybe like 50,000 naira a month.
And they will deliberate it is for consumption or production.
Oh, exactly. But majorly, we're always borrowing for borrowing's sake. I don't understand why this government that is less than 29 days will now say it is borrowing that is still this. I actually front it. It is not good for the not that borrowing is any bad. But if you are borrowing for the good reason.
Thank you very much. Now you talked about Nigerians being better when it comes to writing things and not
speaking grammar,
not able to
actually
implement. Now let's look at this thing that's we call the Nigerian factor. Because you discover that it is still Nigerians that will bring this proposal, that will speak and know the big grammars. Still same Nigerians that will have to implement it. Now this Nigerian factor, don't you think is a huge hindrance? And once it comes to implementation stage, it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I think basically we just need reorientation. That is why if a whole lot of people are blaming government, I will say, who are the government that we are blaming? It is still we. We cannot go and bring foreign citizens to come and solve our problems. We cannot say they should be the ones to come and occupy the positions in the country. We are still the ones that will do it. So the Nigerian factor in us is just what we need to have a rethink on. For example, someone that is going to, I even saw a video of a naming ceremony that a woman is giving biro to a baby and saying, you too, as you grow, you will be part of the people that will be stealing Nigerian money. Is that a prayer or a cause? That is the Nigerian factor. When the person too grow up now and find himself in the place of authority, is going to speak grammar, but he has another hidden agenda within himself that, see, if they approve that money, I will be the one to go and steal it. You are not only affecting the system, you are still affecting the unborn children, the unborn generations that are still coming, because they will live to inherit the debt. So we just need reorientation, and I don't really know how we can go about it, unfortunately.
Do you subscribe to the idea that there should be a review of privatization of the energy sector as demanded by the Nigerian workers? This energy problem, the power problems?
Yes, totally. Because what the privatization that was done is not actually the dictionary meaning of privatization. It's just like allocation. Let me just use that word. like saying, okay, my friend should take this, you should take this because you have done this, you should take this, you should take this. And at the end of the day, because if you really want to privatize, if someone that really don't understand the business is coming to get some, to acquire something with the basic understanding that I'm going to inherit both the liability and the, you will be able to evaluate first, okay, how many what do they call transformers, how many transformers do we have in this area, how many you will understand the real infrastructure that you are acquiring, and you will be able to have a rethink that, okay, how do I plan to manage? There is no feasibility studies. They didn't evaluate anything. There was no feasibility studies done on it, and they just allocated. How do you want them to perform? So definitely they have to reevaluate, and to give it to the right people that really understand the business. If you come to think of it, how many of those people handling it really have the knowledge of the power sector that are handling it? And that is why most of them, when they get to where they are, they will now be looking for all those old NEPA staff. That's it. Just one person should. The person will now be the one. If you look at all the people that started with this illegal, this bypassing and this, they are the whole, because the people doing this, they don't really understand where the problem is. There is no evaluation. There is no feasibility study before they go to acquire. All they were just after is the money. So they have to reevaluate.
All right.
If we really need to move forward.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, going back to the workers now, we started with the fact that the labor unions are actually asking for elongation of the year of service.
Yes.
And you also you talked about the scenarios, different scenarios,
yes,
why this thing is coming up. Now, those that are in active service, this agenda that with the way things are in Nigeria, it is very difficult to rely on a stream of income.
Yes.
Now, some will actually wait when they now retire. They will say, once I retire, I will go into this business. Once I retire, I will do that. Are you supposed to wait as a worker in both public and private sector? Are you supposed to wait until you finally retire before you start looking for another stream of income, popularly called known as side hustle?
I don't believe in waiting for you to retire, because when you are working, you have the opportunity of trial and error.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day you have something to fall back to. But when you retire, you don't have anything to fall back to. So it's just like putting all one's eggs in one basket. So, but I believe, unfortunately, the government, I think the one that the government always subscribes to is farming.
Agriculture.
Agriculture.
And it's not really, it's not restricted to just farming. Everything agriculture.
Everything agriculture, like eggs and the like. It is unfortunate.
And value addition too.
Value addition. Okay, I think it is always better for one to look. If you can travel outside the country and you see a whole lot of people doing like 2-3 different jobs, and they are still making their income, why will Nigerians now sit down on only one source of income? Definitely, it's not really, it's not reliable. It's not reliable and it's not advisable. So if you are working and you have the opportunity of trying the side hustling and it's working, definitely you will know that if it stands, like the hospital that I made mention of, that most doctors now, while working, they will start a small hospital. When they discover that the hospital can stand, then they leave, they resign. At the end of the day, they are still entitled to their pension. They will go back and stand in their hospitals. Instead of there are still some set of people that will feel, okay, let me get a young doctor. One young doctor will be there, while he's an employer. He has employed someone. So instead of you now waiting, collecting without giving back, is not totally acceptable. And it's not advisable for people to be.
Okay, let's also take this question. The organized labor set up Labour Party with the aim of bringing changes to the political space of the country. Well, speaking on the election petitions, they charge the judiciary to purge themselves and try to redeem the image of democracy in the country. Do you see it as a challenge for the judiciary and political stakeholders?
Well, yeah, I will leave that to the politicians and the judges to answer, because we are human beings, and we only know our minds. We only know our plans. We cannot really say what they are going to do. I have had series of allegations that judges, they only deal with the highest bidder. And I know all governments that are currently in power must have one way or the other passed through the judiciaries. Maybe through the point of tribunals and the others. And the result how most of them, they won't have some of their friends in the judiciary. And for the fact that when they come into power, the judiciary will still be directly and indirectly under them. That means they can influence their decision. So definitely I will leave it to them to decide, because I cannot really know their mind.
All right, our time is really fast spent. We'll be speaking with Ms. Ademola Adesoji, who is the chairman of the state chapter of Nigeria Institute of Public Relations. Yes, before we go, your advice to workers. Okay, and those that are still
is that, see, it is in the olden days that we wait till we clock 70 before we retire. There are lots of people that will even try to reduce their age. They will be 60, they will say I'm 30. They will say I'm using a football age. See, even if you reduce your age, one way or the other, can you reduce it with God? Do you know the time that you are going to go, that you're going to leave this world? Why don't you try to work harder, create a side hustle that can really bring an income, train your children very well, and retire at the right time for you to be able to enjoy your money, so that it is not after retiring that they will not say leg is paining him, he cannot work, he cannot. Who will enjoy the money? There are lots of people that they will struggle to build house without training the children. At the end of the day, the children will be the ones who sold the house whenever the man dies. We should be smart. We should work smart and not work hard. That's my advice to workers. Then for those that are looking for a white collar job, see, from what it used to be. It is now based on what you can do, not on the certificates that you have. And the very first thing that people looking for white collar jobs really need to do is one. It is not impossible. If you totally understand what you really go to university or polytechnic to study, and you know you can really act, you don't really need much capital to start, why not start something? While you are doing it, definitely some people, some companies are watching you, can put it as part of your experience for you to get something. But if you don't have that, go for intern opportunity, do a self-volunteering. You can volunteer to work in series of organizations without them giving you money. You know what you are really running after at the end of the day. But one way or the other, you've gotten series of experience and you can be able to add value to the organizations that you go to. So that's my advice.
Thank you.
All right. Special thanks to our guest, Mr. Ademola Adesoji.
Thank you, sir.
It's lovely to have you on the program.
It's my pleasure. Sir.
Thank you for making the day with
Thank
us.
you. You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes, we have been deliberating on labor matters and also touched some aspect of the state's economy. And this is the confident point to draw curtains on today's edition of Let's Discuss. Join us next Sunday at the same time for another fresh edition. Do have a lovely day.
Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.